Hey, what's up? Today we're going to be making Joana Gaines' chocolate chip cookies. But first, let's make some coffee. We're going to use a traditional French press. Go ahead and heat up some water, and we're going to use it to heat up the glass in the French press. We're going to let that sit for a few minutes while we heat up more water for the actual coffee. After pouring out the water, we're going to scoop in our coffee grinds. Sometimes pouring out the water can be super good for cleaning anything that's dirty in your sink. I normally do about 3 tablespoons of coffee grinds, but I like my coffee pretty strong. After scooping in the coffee grinds, I pour super hot water in a little over halfway and let that sit for about 4 minutes. After the 4 minutes is up, I grab a wooden spoon to stir around the grind so I don't damage the glass. I mix it around until I see my coffee foam appear, and then I add the rest of my water and let that sit for another minute or so. I grab a mug, and then the best part, pressing down the press. My sister-in-law jokes that this is the best part of her whole day. Sometimes I drink my coffee black, but I think right now I'm going to grab some cream. Currently in our fridge we have hazelnut and heavy whipping cream. With these I like to do a little bit of flavor and then a little bit of fluff and then froth it around. Once I'm done with that, I'll grab my mug and let's get to baking. Today we're going to be using 2 eggs, a stick of butter, vanilla, baking soda, brown sugar, and chocolate chips. We're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees and grab our standard mixer and a large bowl. First goes 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, then the baking soda and normally salt, but our butter is salted so we're going to leave out the salt. We're going to whisk that around for a second and then set it to the side to work on the wet ingredients. Not sure where the paddle attachment is for the mixer, so we're going to use this one. Next goes the butter. We have to make sure the butter's around room temperature, and then we're going to add the sugar. We're going to mix on medium to high speed for a couple of minutes. I think mixing is definitely one of the best parts, other than tasting stuff for baking. Next we're going to add the eggs, 2 of them. When I crack an egg, I tap it on the counter and then stick my finger in where the crack is and split it open. We're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract and then add all the dry ingredients. Next, we're going to add the chocolate chips. I didn't really open the bag enough to get them out, but it eventually worked out. Your girl really likes her some chocolate, so I put some extra chocolate chips. We're going to add that straight to the dough and mix it around. We're going to mix the chips on high into the dough and then get a sheet ready for our cookies. You can use parchment paper or baking spray, either's fine. I have baking spray. Give each dough blob some room and don't flatten them down. You can make them as big or as little as you want, but if you make them bigger, make sure to give them more room. Since the oven's already at 350, we're going to go ahead and scoot them in. Let them bake for about 10 to 11 minutes or until they're kind of golden brown on the top. If you're content with just watching the cookies, good for you. I like to do yoga or get something done, but don't forget about the cookies, whatever you do. Since the estimated time's up, we're going to check to see if they're done. There's a lot of things you could do to spice your cookies up. You could add some sea salt. You could put them in and burn them. My dad likes that. I'm not too into burnt cookies, so I think I'm going to go ahead and try one. Depending on your cookie size selection, this recipe makes about 40 cookies. I dare you to try this at home. Thanks for hanging out.